Earning credits is as much of a focus in Odyssey as it is in Elite. Now, how to go about doing it is very hard when you're starting out because the game drops you in with some very difficult missions without the necessary weapons to actually complete them. There is a trick to this. There's a few options and missions that we can pick up to get yourself a Maverick suit very quickly. So in this video, we're going to take a look at that. The missions you want to look at then are not the ones we just saw, but rather the collection missions. These are listed as delivery missions on the mission board. Sometimes mission givers will give them to you, but other than that, just simply come to the mission board and pick them up. Ideally, you want ones with a lower threat level, although the threat level shouldn't matter too much. These missions are relatively simple. All they require of you is to go to the destination, pick up an item from a lockbox, and bring it back. Generally speaking, you won't need to sneak past people, you won't need to fight guards, you won't need to break into buildings or enter restricted areas. It's a simple collection mission, and that's reflected in the relatively low pay. But these are fast to do, which means we can have a couple of weapons and a Maverick suit in no time at all. Let's get to it. Now, one thing that's been a problem for some people with Odyssey so far is the travel times. Many missions are 150,000 light seconds away. That can be a problem. Fortunately then, a very helpful user over on Reddit has put a list together showing that the distances to various destinations. That list is linked in the video description. Be sure to check it out before picking up missions. Now, one thing I mentioned in the previous video is that I come to these missions without tools. That was completely untrue. It turns out that all suits are actually equipped with weapons. I just needed to select them. These are accessed through keys 3 and 4 on the keyboard, and using the R key it will switch between the firing modes of these particular tools. But like I said, we don't need anything anywhere near as complicated as that for this particular mission. Just come to one of the terminals located at the base and choose the location that you need to go to. In this case, we need to find the lockbox in the dorm. Now, you could just run around blindly or probably bump into it once you know where the buildings are, but this does make it quite a bit easier. So selecting the habitat here, selecting the dorm, and then the correct container. Now you can see the computer tells us that container is locked, but we have the access code up on the top right, so we're about to get in very easily. And selecting the container or the location, indeed you can do this for staff members as well, and selecting that will mark the location or the person on your compass. So these are open bases. This particular area isn't restricted. We could get straight in here, and we've got the code to the lockbox, meaning we don't need to hack into it. So the guard that's off just behind me there is not going to care because, well, I'm a genuine person. I'm coming here to legitimately collect this item. But you've still got to watch out for being scanned. You can hear the request there. If I run off now, I will get shot at. So yeah, let the person scan you and you can get on your way. So after completing a variety of these missions, I was back at the starport, Hopkins City. And once again, I got some performance issues as soon as we entered the hangar here. You can see the frame rate is very, very low. To be expected, this is alpha, so hopefully this will improve over time and Frontier get a handle on this, fixing the problem, tracking down where it actually exists. Currently this problem happens regardless of resolution. I'm on 1440p at the moment with an RTX 3080. Incidentally, on performance issues, I have tried playing this on a Ryzen 2600 with a GTX 970, which is above the recommended spec, but it performs so badly as to be pretty much unplayable, around about 15 frames a second or less. So there's definitely some issues going on somewhere that are going to need to be tracked down by Frontier. Anyway, handing in the missions, I've chosen the cash reward, which is going to ultimately give me enough to buy what we need. So right now in Odyssey, there's just 2 suits. The default flight suit, which you've had since day 1 of Elite Dangerous, and the new Maverick, which is aimed at salvaging or scavenging. This comes with an additional tool, the arc cutter, which allows us to cut into panels and get access to those type of locations. 150,000 credits, so relatively cheap once you've done a few missions. We're going to pick that up. By the way, this suit can also be engineered and it can carry 2 weapons. We've got 2 weapon slots there. A primary weapon, which are the larger weapons, and a secondary weapon, such as a handgun. I'm also going to go ahead and pick up a couple of weapons. Do keep in mind that with the Maverick, we can only equip 1 primary weapon. The combat suit, which is going to be added into the later phases, will allow us to equip 2 primary weapons. Incidentally, Pioneer Supplies is also where you can upgrade weapons and suits. Now these, like engineering your ship or your ship's modules, require various materials in order to upgrade. We can see that list there. We're going to take a closer look at this in a future video, but basically you can use the barkeep to trade some materials in to get the desired components. Finally, we're going to want to equip all our new items. We can do this from the station kiosk. Under the edit loadout, we need to create a new loadout. We've got our current one there, our flight suit. So we're going to choose the Maverick suit, which you can see allows us to have 1 primary weapon, and we're going to add that right now. Either one of these is good, and a secondary weapon, which is our little handgun. No idea how good this actually is. I haven't tried using it just yet, but yeah, let's add that. And then ultimately, we just save the loadout. Now, loadouts can be changed only inside a ship, so that's either your own ship or inside a taxi service. For whatever reason, you cannot change a loadout whilst in a station. Seems a bit of an odd decision, but you know, there we go. I'm finally equipped then for a combat mission. It's time to go do one of those. I'll be back very shortly with another video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.